Okay, I've got another one. Look way back on the days when it was Jim Baker. Jim Baker was starting the ministry, and what is that called? PTL. Yeah. Praise the Lord. That's what it's called, PTL. Um, and they had a big thing. Well, I was working. I was working a construction company there, and I went, and we weren't allowed to cuss, and we weren't allowed to use the restroom wherever we wanted. You know, you had to go to designated places. And I was always wondering what they meant. Watched and sometimes listened to what people were saying, and I'd watch it on TV and see things, and Jim Baker and Tammy, and thought to myself how weird they are, you know. And but did you know? Hadn't been 4 or 5 years after that is when the Lord had did all He did to bring me to Him and reveal Jesus in me, and you know some of the things that happen with you, like when I was first, you know, illuminated, like I mean, I went everywhere. I went everywhere, and I was telling people all about Him. So look, Jesus, hey, and people, some people were like, well, you know, I don't want to hear it. I understand, okay, but I was really kind of confused. I thought, well, you'd think that they would like just grab this and take it, like it was, you know, just gold, you know. And they weren't. They weren't. It wasn't happening like that. And I was wondering what's going on. Then I got a job at a gas station, and the people would come, and I'd do the windshield, and I'd pump their gas, and pretty soon the owner was trying to tell me, you know, you need to do some sales. You know, check out the windshield wipers. Make sure you know they got they might need to be replaced or something like that, right? Oil, check their oil. Okay, top it off. Get a cord in there. And I felt guilty about having to try to do stuff like that. And I just look at them, but I never did do it. See, I checked the oil if it didn't need any. I didn't say try to top off, and yeah, it's horrible. Charge them for a little bit of oil and for a hole, and they didn't get the hole. So uh, pretty soon I was reading books, you know, there at the gas station, and the owner came in and said, "You can't read. You can't have that. You're not allowed to have the Bible, like that too, you know." And so as time went by, you know, they ended up letting me go. Um, and so almost like every job and all that time and years of my life, was either let go or something happened where I had to leave it because it was just it was too much for them to bear about me being a witness in that light of Christ. One time I had a job at a 7-Eleven Lavicchio. I was making sandwiches. All the people come in, and we made them by hand with gloves on. Chop, 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 boom, boom, boom. It was better than Subway, and I'm doing it. And I see this guy out the window here, and he's digging in the trash cans at the front door of the store, and it was like 7-Eleven also. See, um, and I stopped real quick and I ran out and I walked out and I said, hey, don't do that. Don't dig in the trash. Here, let me get some. Stand there, hold on. I walked back in real quick and made 2 hot dogs, okay? And went out and gave them to him. There you go. Now I'm allowed to do that, and then there's a board on there for what you ate for the day, and I would have to write on there what I ate for that day. Now I could put it on there at the end of the day if I want. Okay? I don't have to go put it on there the minute I ate whatever it was. So I put the 2 on. I get back to work. See, one of the people went and told the boss, "Hey, I took 2 hot dogs out there and gave them to some guy." See, so the owner was like, "Michael, I need a dog with you." And did you give the homeless guy 2 hamburgers? I said, "No, sir, I didn't." Mm-mm. He looked at me and he said, "You mean to tell me you did not take 2 hamburgers and give them to a homeless guy outside?" I said, "That's correct, sir. I did not take 2 hamburgers and give them to a guy outside." Now, neither did I tell him I took 2 hot dogs because I didn't need to. You see, if I'm going to pay for them, why I need to tell him anyway? But I hadn't marked it on the board. I thought he'd think I was going to try to steal them, so he said, "Keep your mouth shut." He goes, "Okay, all right." So he let me go. I went and then I marked them on the board. Okay, But uh, then, some stupid thing I did. We do a lot of wrong, One guy wanted a refill. I wouldn't give it to him. Too many people in line. I said, no, sir, it is what it is. And that guy went and boss came. Yeah, he fired me, man. I was like, they've been wanting to get rid of me anyway, because a lot of them were from college working there, and they did not like me. So, if you look back some of the things that you did with Jesus and the miracles. Oh, yeah, what are some of the miracles? Do you have any miracles? I remember girl, woman. It was woman, old lady like woman. It was female, more or less. She was hollering. I was eating at a homeless shelter. Big, lot of food. All the slobs and the pigs and, alcoholics and all are running their heads stinking, right? And they're sitting across from me on long tables, and you're sitting there eating yours. And I hear this old woman holler, and she's like, help, I'm choking, help, I'm choking. And everybody looks around, and all the drunks are looking at me, and I look at them, and dude looks up and he says, she's choking. And I go, and she goes, I'm choking, I'm choking. So I got up out of the chair. I'm like 6, 7 people away from her down the line. I said, okay, ho, ho, ho. I'm like wondering, why didn't anybody else help the woman? So I go to her and I said, what's wrong? She says, I'm choking. She says, I'm choking. And didn't look like she's choking. She's breathing and everything. I said, okay, so I'm going to appease her. I was like, Lord, let's just help her out here. So I said, okay, give me her neck. And I tilted her head back. I put my fingers on her neck. And I said, please, Jesus, help her. Don't let her choke. I just ran them like this. Please, Jesus, help her. Don't let her choke. And she put your head up. And I said, you okay now? And she goes, no, I'm still choking. I go, oh, lean back. And I said, please, Jesus, please heal her, Lord, from choking. And all of a sudden, she coughs, chokes up this neck, chicken neck. I'm telling you, it was 3.5 inches long. Chicken neck about that big around. She had swallowed it whole and it was stuck down in there before it goes in the stomach area. I don't know. She could breathe, but it was in there. Lord brought it up. She just spit it all up. People were freaking out and she hollered, he saved me. I said, no. I said, Jesus saved you. He's the one. Oh, yeah, Jesus. I was like, there's so many things like that have happened. It is psychotic, man. I mean, talking about you can touch them and they get healed. There's things you drink poisonous. You don't know why, what happened, but you can do it. There's some accidents you'll do. You will not die. You'll get bitten by snakes, poisonous snakes. Didn't know it, right? Didn't die. Didn't get it to nothing. Water moccasin, I know, bit me one time. Nothing happened. I was so thankful. Whew. Right on the hand. Boom. I'm trying to grab it. Comes straight out of water. Most people, to go into shock and that. Yeah. Just things like that, if you're in the Lord and you get lost somewhere and your leg gets caught in between two big rocks, because you were hiking, don't freak out. Do not panic and take out your knife after so long and cut your leg off. I'm telling you, it says Jesus is over all the angels, okay? And what happens is you can get help. You can actually know and he will move the rock for you. I'm not kidding. So you don't see the rock move. Who knows? Well, I'm going to tell you something. Your leg will come up now. Your leg will come up now. That's how he works with us. That's how he loves us so much. That you can be in dire, dire, horrible circumstances. Yes, you can. And when you call on the Lord, he's going to be there for you. In whatever it is. Life, death situations. Okay? Remember that. So those things have happened in all my life. All those things, he said. They shall, raise the dead. Oh, I'm going to tell you I've experienced that. Literally laying on the man. But it wasn't because I was showing off in front of people. He died, and I laying on him. Please, Father, I said, God, let him live, and I will follow you. Because he was calling me the whole time. Johnny got killed from a motorcycle wreck, my fault. And he, poof, I saw the dust in the dirt, poof, and he started breathing again. And I was like, uh-oh, I'm obligated now. Yep, I had made a vow to God that I would serve him. Well, I didn't do much good, and then kind of like wanted to do my way again, running and gambling and riding the girls and being in college and doing, and oh goodness, done got rid of the first wife because she aborted my child and caused adultery, and oh my goodness. God was after me. I know what it means to be. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God, because He's going to bring you down. So finally, better is one that suffers for righteousness, okay? For doing righteousness than unrighteousness, because in doing righteousness, you're able to bear with it. Well, what happened was the Father put me in. I was incarcerated for something I didn't do. A friend of mine who was not in Christ. Here I go, yeah, running off, running my way, ain't even reading what I didn't want to read. Um, we're doing whatever we wanted to do, and was with girls, and he was of a rock and roll group, and we were with me and him were with these girls, and the cops pulled us over, and he was in his old girlfriend's car, who she did not let him use it, and she said that I took it with Tony. So they had me for Grand Theft Auto, which I didn't do. I was on my own motorcycle. I had it physically. Told him it was at his parents' house. You know, I can verify that. Well, they didn't call. They said lock him up. The Lord had them lock me up. Literally, they would not let me out for 90 days until I waived extradition. Then I had to be shackled, handcuffed, put in a Cessna plane, and flew all the way back from Oklahoma to Arizona. All because of what she did now, you know. But hey, I wasn't wrong. I didn't do it, yeah. I did all that, and God, the whole time I had to read. I was reading and reading and reading. I was stuck in this stupid cell by myself, reading and reading and reading, and God was working on me, and it's a long story, but I'll talk about some of that later.